Hey guys, my name's Tyler. I'm the creative arts pastor here at First Capital Christian Church. This is Matt. He's our worship pastor, and we kind of wanted to shoot this video today to answer a question about something that I posted on Visual Church Media on Facebook regarding doing a live online campus within a budget. Yet still making kind of a professional quality video. And so we wanted to kind of go over pretty much every little bit of knowledge that we have about this subject and impart any bit of wisdom that we can to you guys.
Yeah, so we wanted to start out just with the why we started doing this. And I think it's important to note just in the beginning that Tyler and I are not experts in this area.
No.
And we are just still figuring this stuff out. And honestly, this whole time it's been trial and error. And it's taken weeks of trying to do something and then going like, oh, that didn't work, and so let's reevaluate. And so, just first off, if you guys might even be more knowledgeable in this stuff, and so if you know a lot of this stuff, forgive us. But we just thought maybe this will help somebody out there who is kind of approaching it the same way we are. So I want to start out with the why we started doing a live feed. A little over a year ago, moved from Savannah, and I was at a church there, and Facebook was on its way out, and Instagram and all these other things were on its way in. But coming here, I realized that Facebook is still a huge thing. Probably just Corden, Indiana, good old small town Corden. But Facebook is really big here, and so coming in, I quickly saw that, and then also saw that our church is at the worst location ever, and maybe you guys are at that too. But we are in the back of a neighborhood at a dead end street. The only thing next to us is a high school, which is pretty awesome, and so we try to think through that too. But nobody really drives by our church at all unless you're going to visit.
Or you're lost.
Yeah, you go visit grandma or take your kid to school. And so with no marketing budget, I quickly saw that we needed to figure out a creative way just to get our name out there, and so people could come to know Christ, in our church. And so with that, we thought about, hey, why not start live feeding, and so live streaming. And so before Tyler got here, I just started doing it on my phone, just a live feed on Sundays, and it was the worst quality ever. It was sitting in the tech booth, and so, you could
hear the sound guy talking in the background.
Yeah, and everybody walking by, and it was not ideal, but we just wanted to just kind of get something rolling. And so, kind of to a surprise, we had a lot of people start watching it and commenting on it. And so when Tyler first got here, we talked about that, and that was pretty much one of the first things we rolled out was this online, has turned into our online campus, but kind of a live stream. So
yeah, and we've had a plethora of obstacles when we first started this. We're in a really unique situation. So I got here a few months ago. Matt's been here about a year, and so both of us are relatively new to the roles we were in, and we have basically no budget to do this with. And so we had to think about ways that we could possibly get creative and still get the quality that we wanted. We didn't want to throw something up there that would not be attractive for our church, because our ultimate goal was, in a kingdom-centered way, marketing. And so these obstacles that we're about to talk about may be something that you guys are experiencing as well, and we're just going to kind of go through why and how we have dealt with those.
Yeah, so the first obstacle was our internet. Like I said, we're in a small town, and just a lot of internet providers don't come out our way. And so we have like a 1 megabyte upload speed, and like
half, I think.
We are getting about 6 megabytes like download speed, and so our internet.
It's satellite, so if it rains like a drop, you don't get it.
So our internet is awful, and so live streaming for us, like actually live, we found out very quickly just wasn't going to work because it was just pausing and buffering and everything else. And so we had to kind of get creative with how we did the live stream from the internet standpoint.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit. But another big obstacle for us was equipment. We were not equipped to carry out the vision that we had for this online campus. So we'll get into our equipment here in just a few minutes too. But if you guys are in a situation where you don't have the right equipment, we want to give you hope that there are some options that that are pretty good for not a whole lot of money. So.
Cool. We already talked about, just our lack of knowledge, so just keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions, please, comment below, and we'll try to help you out as much as we can. But maybe this will open up opportunity for guys who are more experienced to even coach us up on that and answer your questions too. So we're going to kind of get into our current setup, and so I'll let Tyler talk about kind of what we got going on.
Yeah, so we currently have an entirely volunteer-based production team outside of myself and Matt. And so I kind of serve as main producer or so on the weekend services. I usually run front of house, but we have a few guys that are doing front of house audio as well. But we have two camera people, and then 2 static shots that we use, plus a pro presenter operator and a volunteer producer who's calling all of the video shots and the overlays, stuff like that. And the first issue we came up with when we started this live feed is that we only had one camera, which we've had for long enough that it's not even being produced anymore. So I'm gonna let Matt talk about what we had.
Yeah, so that camera he's talking about was the Panasonic P2HD, and when we built, before we got here, our church built on to the current church, or the church that we had, and so built a new auditorium, and with that campaign, came sound system and video equipment and stuff like that. And so the nice thing is that in that they got some pretty good gear that kind of kick-started this whole thing. And so he's going to talk about it a little bit, but we got, black magic ATEM switcher. And so that has kind of enabled us to kind of start upgrading our cameras and stuff like that. But just want to kind of roll through our cameras real quick. So we had the Panasonic P2HD. That was the camera that was kind of inherited, and that they aren't making anymore. But it's done a great job. Looks good. And we've kind of tried to match all of our cameras. We started with, I guess, matching it to that one. But so Tyler and I ended up buying 2 Sony Nx100s. They're about $1,600 a piece, and they've been great. They've just been perfect for us.
We like those a little bit better, I think, than the Panasonic.
Yeah. And it's cheap. I mean, you do have to spend some money on this stuff, but you don't have to go buy a $7,000 or $30,000 camera to make it happen.
We're actually shooting on the Sony right now, so if you want a little teaser of what it looks like.
Yeah, and then we ended up putting just a Sony HANDYCAM back behind the drums. Not super high end camera at all, but it gets the job done and it looks great. And so is that
300?
It was 300. Okay.
Yeah, I have bad handwriting, guys, so sorry.
But yeah, so like he said, we're using 4 cameras for our live stream, and so far I think it looks great. The only thing that we did have to watch and upgrade, which was not in our worlds, was just our tripod system stuff. And for those of you guys who are more professional in this and know more, you could have seen that coming, but we didn't. And so we got this camera, and it was with just a $100 tripod, and it was shaking like crazy and not smooth at all. And so we had to kind of do some research. And so we ended up going with
Satchler.
Yeah, Satchler.
Something nice.
Ace.
Yeah, Ace. Yeah.
Something like that. So it's not the best, because on our Panasonic P2HD we have it was like liquid blue. I'm trying to think of the brand. Vixton or Vexton, something like that. So, but it's awesome. Great tripod. Check it out. We'll try to put some links below. But so anyways, yeah, we're still trying to figure out the tripod thing. So
and to go along with that, we have the 2 static cams. We have the drum cam that's right behind the drummer. Fortunately, this HANDYCAM that we got ended up having a wide angle option on it, so we can pick up some of the crowd. We can pick up the singers in it as well, so it's a pretty cool shot. We're using one of the Nx100s as a static, medium shot on just like the 2 or 3 singers in the middle of the stage. But the other 2 are manned by our camera volunteers that we have been slowly training to add a little movement to our shots. So these tripods have become extremely important, because as these people are doing slow pans and slow fade ins and zoom outs and stuff like that, one of them looks amazing and the other one has been super shaky. And so I can't stress the importance of getting a nice tripod. Yeah, with a fluid head. Really,
Fluid head.
really important.
Yep.
Like Matt said, we have Blackmagic's ATEM Switcher. They just came out with an update for this thing last week, and it looks awesome. So if you're going to do it, I definitely would not suggest getting the one that we have and going for the new one. But they're both the same price, which is pretty cool. It's integrated for YouTube streaming and Facebook live streaming, which for us, the way that we're about to show you how we do it, won't matter nearly as much as people who actually have enough internet speed to go straight to the internet.
Yep.
As far as here's where it gets jank, guys. I'm gonna just be honest with you. So we have a Yamaha LS9, which used to be like an industry standard board for like conferences and people doing lecture halls, stuff like that.
Churches.
Yeah, and churches. But it does not have the option to have a direct record out for multi-tracking. You can install like a Dante card, stuff like that, but like we said, we don't have a whole lot of budget, and what budget we did have, we used on cameras. So here's how we are doing our audio. We please don't laugh at us, but we bought these XLR splitters. So from the source, we have 16 channel options, and we split 16 different channels with XLR splitters. One will go to an interface, and one goes to the soundboard. There's, if any, very, very minimal quality difference between just plugging straight in. We can't tell. So the first interface that we bought was a Behringer USB. It's like UMC 1800, I think, and it lasted 3 months and then kind of pooped out on us. So this would be where in our budget in the next couple of years we're probably going to look into getting something nice. Right now we've just kind of thrown in a Focusrite Saffire Pro 40, which is working great. It's just not the church's. It's something that we have borrowed. And so we have the Pro 40 going into a Behringer ADAT unit, which gives us 16 inputs that are directly being recorded into a laptop with Pro Tools. As far as audio quality, it's super great because we can go back in post and mix our audio, but it's also not the ideal setup. But for a budget, I think this ran us probably maybe $300 total. So spending $300
to be able to multi-track.
Yeah, and you don't even have to use Pro Tools. There's options like Reaper or Logic or even GarageBand that you can multi-track on that are like next to nothing. So you're looking at $300 to $400 to be able to get quality multi-track recording from your audio.
Yeah, but you will have to have, a recording software and a computer.
Right.
Kind of. So we already had that. So
So that wasn't something we had to buy. We also use ProPresenter. We have ProPresenter 5 right now. 6 is out, and they're all pretty buggy. So either way, you're looking at fixing ProPresenter pretty much every service. But we use ProPresenter as what is on the screen, but it runs right into the ATEM switcher. So we have the switcher set up with a black keyer. So right now, if we were on our screen on the stage, this background would not show up. We would be transparent, basically. And so anything with black on ProPresenter, if we are on air, won't show up, which allows us to put like custom overlays of like our name bugs for certain pastors or people speaking on stage. The way we've been doing scripture, we put it on while the pastor's still on stage. It's a pretty cool feature. So,
yeah. All right, so we want to talk just a minute about just execution, just how we are capturing the live stream and how we're putting it out. And so I just want to talk a little bit, just because of us wanting to multi-track so it sounds a little bit better than just a board feed, and because of our internet not being capable of actually live streaming a service, what we are doing is we are recording our Saturday night service, and then we are broadcasting it Sunday morning as a live feed. That way Saturday night we can go in and we can mix and master, and then we can also make sure it's not going to buffer and skip and all that jazz. And so we're recording our Saturday night.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time. We have a board that we filled out, a whiteboard of all the pros and cons of doing it both ways. And ultimately it came down to audio quality. I've heard it said a bunch of different times from different people that a good video could be ruined by bad audio a lot quicker than a bad video can be ruined by good audio. And so if you, in our opinion, if the audio is really bad, I think that's a turn off for a lot of people. And so that was kind of what we focused on, and then all the video stuff came second. So how we do this is we record with that setup with the Pro 40. I take it home, or we do it in an office somewhere. We have a couple options. And on Saturday night, I get the service ready. I've got a template set up that we've spent weeks getting the way we want it, but it's a Pro Tools session. I'm going to actually include that in a download link for you guys. We use a lot of Waves plugins, a lot of Steven Slate plugins. So if you have those, it'd be great. I'm going to try to also to maybe get one set up where it substitutes some normal plugins that just come with your DAW. Anyways, we just take the multi-tracks and throw them in this template and then reset levels, basically. It's a couple hours of work, but the payoff is significant. From there, after the audio is mixed, I upload it to a website called Aria Mastering, which is a new mastering automated website, which I'm not usually a big fan of automated mastering, but this is put together by some people who've won Grammy Awards. Phil Tan, who mixes Coldplay, is like a big user of this. He uses it on major records, and it sounded great for us. It widens everything out, it keeps it level. After the audio is done, I insert the speaking audio into Logic. Logic, for some reason, works a little bit better with its video engine than Pro Tools. So I put it in Logic. I'm a big fan of Izotope RX. So all of their like restoration plugins, taking out noise in the background, take audio, which is anybody talking on the stage, anybody that is speaking like from the pulpit, baptisms, stuff like that. So we clean up all that audio, EQ it, mix it, master it. And then we're ready to go for the video. So we've got all the songs mixed, all of the speaking mixed, and then we put it in Final Cut Pro X, which for the price, it's like $299. I've yet to find anything that I like better. We as a church have the Adobe Suite, so we could use like Premiere Pro and After Effects and stuff, but Final Cut is super user-friendly, it's super easy, and it's cheap. And so we put it in there. I use a color grading plugin called Film Convert. It's $100, and it is awesome. It will emulate movie-style film and put that on every single camera from our switcher. Really, really good stuff. I would totally look into doing that. And then everything is ready to go for the export. And the export takes like 2 hours. So if you mess anything up on Sunday morning, then you're looking at putting a standby screen on your Facebook Live feed that says like, "Hey, technical issues, sorry." And we've done that a couple times. So it's all of the way that we do our live feed is a lot of prep work before 10:45 on Sunday, which is when we stream. So it's kind of the opposite of a real live feed where all the work would be being done at 10:45. We are doing all the prep work late on Saturday night and getting it ready for 10:45. Do you have anything else to add to that? No. All right, so once the video is ready, we use OBS, which is open broadcasting software, and it's free. So that's the good part of it. You can use stuff like Wirecast and a couple others that are made for live streaming that are like $500 or $600. We use OBS because we don't have any budget. So it goes directly to Facebook Live. We use our already made service video from Saturday night, stream it to Facebook Live from OBS. But the tricky part is we don't have any internet. We're in the middle of nowhere, and our upload speed, like Matt said, is like 1. So we have come up with this idea of using a different house for our internet. If you go like 2 streets away from our church, you can get like 300 speed internet compared to 1. And so we go to a different place every single week in between our 9 and 10:45 services, start the live feed, and then come back, which is not the best, but this is budget live streaming. So.
And of course, it's my house, and so it's not like we just pull up in front of some random stranger's house and start.
Yeah, we just like hide our computer behind a rock and hope for the best. We've hacked the code for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so we go over to my house right now. We're working on getting that internet over here at the church.
Yeah.
For right now, it is what it is.
Yeah. Another thing that I would talk about for execution would be training your volunteers is super important. We started out this live feed, and I'm not sure we casted a vision until like halfway of from then to now. And once we started casting this vision of why we're doing the live stream, how it matches up with the vision for church, and then showing them results of it. Our people have bought in, and we've had training nights, and they're getting better camera shots. The producers are understanding concepts better. So training is a huge piece of this whole thing.
Yeah, and we've seen this across the board too, just for the fact that now we have something that our people on worship team and our production team can go back during the week and watch. We're seeing just a lot of just growth in that area, because our singers can now watch themselves, and our video cameras can watch, video ops can watch how they're panning and how they're zooming in, and I think it's going to be great reward just having that.
Yeah. So just a quick recap before we go into this very last portion is we've given you guys the links down below for all the cameras that we use, excluding the Panasonic one that doesn't exist anymore. And I want to also note on those cameras that color balancing them is a nightmare, and we've had to do it probably once every at least month.
Yeah.
We probably should do it more often. So make sure that you get cameras that have the same specs, and even if they do have the same specs, if they're different brands, they're still hard to color balance.
Yep.
So we went through the camera list. We used the ATEM Switcher. We're using Pro Presenter for overlays, stuff like that. The ATEM Switcher software also comes with capturing. And so we didn't have to buy any external capturing device. We record straight to that. And then we're using a Saffire Pro 40 for the audio with an ADAT expansion. So we have 16 channels. I'm going to include the download link for our template. If you have any questions on that, you can contact either one of us, and we'll do the best we can to help you out with it. But the most important part of this whole thing for us is the results. We did not see this coming at all. But since we started this online campus, it's really a testament to our culture right now.
Yeah,
I think
area too.
Yeah, and this area. But I think people are more apt to try something out if they've already seen it online first. And so we've had countless families each week that will come up to one of us or one of the other pastors on staff and say hey, we tried you guys out online for 3 or 4 weeks, and now we're finally here. And they have been not only visiting but active in our church.
Yeah.
They've started coming.
Yeah.
But we started the live feed, I think, in November, and we've seen exponential growth from our church, not only in numbers, but I think in health.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Due to marketing and exposure out in the community.
Yep. Yeah, and there's been a huge, we keep hearing from just different people in different states and different places around town just watching the live feed, and I really feel like this live feed has just created this excitement just in our church. when it comes up, people are sharing it, and so if you aren't live feeding, we are doing this just because we strongly believe that it's a great thing for your church.
Yeah, we have set a vision for our church of helping people find and follow Jesus, which when you Google that, I think that's every other church's vision as well. But we set this vision recently. We've come together, kind of recast our vision for our church, and we ended up figuring out that this is a great way to help people find and follow Jesus. As far as the online campus portion of it, we're looking at doing online Bible studies. Each week our pastor does an online summary of his sermon. Our youth program has been doing online recaps of the youth events for the parents to be able to be involved. Yeah. And so this online live stream has really turned into an online campus. Yeah. We've had people contact us for on Facebook or on our website for prayer requests, asking for them to have been visited in the hospital, even though they've never even stepped foot in our door. And so it's a really, really great way of helping people find Jesus.
Yep. I just wanted to say before we get out of here, like we said earlier, we don't feel like we have all the answers, and we're still trying to figure this out. And so maybe there's some of you on there who have heard what we're doing and might have a suggestion on how we can do it better or easier or whatever. We would love to hear from you, and maybe this will even challenge some of you guys to maybe make a video yourself and let us know what you're using, and maybe we can pick up some stuff from that. And there's always more we could do. There's more money we can spend and better equipment and all this stuff. And there's also churches who can't even do what we're doing. And we'd love to just hear how you're doing it, even on a lesser budget. Maybe this can become a community where we're just all again feeding off each other on how to do a live stream like this better. So we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we love that we are live streaming at our church, but we also love advancing the kingdom more than that. And so whatever we can do to help you, and definitely whatever you can do to help us, we're going to take all the help we can get.
Yeah.
I feel like we've rigged this about as like the worst way possible, but it's working.
It works.
And so we just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. If you got any questions, we'll probably put up our emails right below us here.
Yeah, probably.
I'm editing the video, so it's going to be right here, right now. All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah,
See you later.
thanks.